Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. All right. Y'all already know what's love. Love, peace, peace, peace. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. Share, share, share. Share. Conway, bro. I know you've been calling me, bro. I got to get back with you. All right. I apologize, bro. I know you've been calling, man. Every time I be about to call you, something else pop up, man, and I apologize. All right. I'm gonna get with you, fam. I'm gonna get with you. Peace and love, family. Peace, 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 peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace. Somebody said they can't hear anything. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Somebody said, what makes it peace? Hey, if you know something, let me know. If you know something, let me know. Okay? If you know something, let me know, because you're kind of right. I haven't really did my true research on the word peace. So, yeah, you're right. Okay? Couple things, family, couple things. I'm also going to answer some questions, anything that I possibly can answer. All right? So, if y'all can, go ahead and drop your questions. All right. Go ahead and drop your questions. FC Text Pro. You not good looking. What that mean? What you talking about? But anyway, all right, tap in, family. Okay. I had a couple of things that I want to talk to y'all about. Okay, because I'm seeing a lot of folks kind of saying the same thing and not really understanding what's going on. We've said it all before. All right. Understand when I get a lot of people that say, hey, I know what's going on. I have my secure party packet. I have my UCCs. I have my foreign EIN. I have my trust. And I'm just like be asking, I'm like, yo, some of y'all got more things set up than I do. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Some of y'all have more things set up than I do. But the difference between me, all right, and a lot of folks is y'all are just setting these things up without having any understanding on how to use them. Okay? All right? I can't tell you how many people I speak to that says, I got my foreign EIN, I got my trust, all right? It's like, and then I'd be like, damn, you got all that set up. You should be teaching me. Okay? Mad world, you're a puppet. Oh, okay, you're a troll. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Let's get mad world up out of here. Okay. Toodles. Okay. All right. That quick. All right. So y'all have to understand, a lot of folks have things set up and they don't even know how to use them. And just imagine having a bunch of guns or having weaponry and not knowing how to use it. Or let's say you had benefits and you didn't know how to use it. Somebody said Federal Reserve 16 Part 1 on Google is not a good definition. What source did you find the definition you read? Family, I went to the federalreserve.gov. I went to Google and I typed in federalreserve.gov. I went to a government website. And hopefully everybody that's in here is going to government website when they're reading these laws. That's my best advice. Somebody said, do I need to set up LLC first to get remedy? No. Do you still want to have an LLC? Yes. Zay Do Honcho. I'm with you, family. Okay. All right. So you got to understand, a lot of folks have trust. A lot of folks have foreign EIN set up. Okay, and I'm here. This is what I'm here to let y'all know. It doesn't matter where you start, family. Start anywhere. Okay, just know why you're starting there. Don't be these people that just saying, where do I start? Okay, well, he said go read this. You got to know why you're starting. What are you looking for? Okay? You gotta know, because if you ask me, I would say start with your contract first. Read your contract. So many of us run from that, okay? Read your contract is going to tell it all. Anything you don't understand about the contract, all right, you want to go look it up. All right, when you see things in the contract talking about security interest, when you see things talking about interest, period. Anytime you hear that, see that I word, anytime you see that interest word, you have to know, okay, who's supposed to pay the interest? Okay? Now, let me comment the number 1 if you think or have once thought that the consumer is supposed to pay the bank's interest. I'm going to go ahead and comment 1, because it was a point of time when I thought that the consumers are supposed to pay the bank's interest, or the consumers are supposed to pay the management company interest. So comment 1 if you thought you're supposed to pay the bank's interest. And family, that's where you start. That's where you start. You start off with the word interest. You ask questions like, who's supposed to pay interest? Now, you got to be careful. If you just go to Google and you say, hey, Google, who's supposed to pay interest? They're going to say the borrower. And if you instantly already think you're the borrower, guess what you're going to do? You're going to say, well, Google said I'm supposed to pay. Like, whoa. Why do you keep grouping yourself with the borrower? What law did you see where the one that applies is the borrower? We got to understand, like, we got to leave everything we thought we knew about a bill and about the creditor and the borrower. Don't y'all know the lender is not the creditor? I know. I was laughing too when I seen that. Okay, the lender is not the creditor. The lender is not the original creditor. We hear that word lender, we're like, well, they're lenders. Well, okay, lender of what? They're lenders of service to manage our accounts. Do y'all hear that verbiage? They're lenders to service our accounts, because they're managers, right? Aren't they account managers? Right? Right. Okay? Exactly. They lend after we give. They don't lend, then we give, and then no, we go in there, we give, and then they lend. They're lending out our own. It's like having an assistant, right? Having them going to get your groceries, right? You give them money, they go get the grocery, the goods, right? They bring back the goods. You don't pay again. Okay, and that's been a problem. All of us that's been thinking we're supposed to pay back the interest. All right, that's because we don't really understand bills. Okay, the banks pay interest. That's why I say start with your contract. If you don't know where to start with your contract. Okay, how much is a consultation with me? With me, it's $500 an hour with me. Okay, $500 an hour with me. But if I was you, I'd rather go spend $500 and go buy all my classes, because all my classes is 8 hours. All right, that's 5 classes. Okay, all right, that you'll get for 5. I'd rather you do that rather than just spending 1 hour and $500 with me. Of course, you're gonna be hearing some amazing things on the phone, but that class is gonna be more so gonna give you the structure you need. All right, just being honest with you. Yeah, so y'all gotta remember, you gotta look at accounts like this. All right, there is a lender and then there is a creditor. There is a lender, there is a creditor. The lender is actually the borrower, family. Okay, yes, we misunderstand the word repay. We're not supposed to repay because we already prepaid. Okay, I have a bundle deal right now. All my classes are $450. Okay, you can get all my class for $450 individually. You might end up paying like $700, $800 if you get them individually. That's why I say get the bundle and get them all. All right, you get it's like a college, it's like you HCA University. That's all we have to give, to be honest with you. All right, y'all gotta remember, we give them our socials and then they lend us our credit. Okay, but they are the borrowers. You gotta remember, when they go to the Federal Reserve, we aren't the borrowers. Because a lot of people think the Federal Reserve just got all this money and they just sitting on it, and then whoever come knock on the door and borrow, no, family. The Federal Reserve has individual accounts on behalf of our government names. Okay? Our government names. So when we go and give the application, look at the application like an order, like you about to go out to eat, and they tell you, hey, man, put your order on a piece of paper. We write our order down. Okay, I want me, some seafood with this, yada, yada. I want a vegan meal or whatever. And this is what I want. I want 2 of those, right? I put in my order. Look at an application like an order. Okay? Look at an application like an order. All right, you went to the bank and ordered a car. You went to the bank and ordered a car. Okay? Remember, you're giving an order to a bank for a house. Hey, I'm ordering a house. Hey, I'm ordering a car. Hey, I'm ordering an apartment. Hey, I'm ordering food stamps. Hey, I'm ordering school loan. Hey, I'm ordering my child's private school tuition. Hey, I'm ordering. Look at the application like an order. Okay, literally look at it like an order, because I'm going to the bank and I'm ordering something. I put my order in with my prepayment, with my credit card information. My credit card information is my Social Security credit card information, which is my social. Okay, I gave them the government name that I control. I authorized it at the bottom by signing it, and I gave it to them. I submitted my application for credit. And I need to find an account manager or a service agent, okay, or a service provider, okay, to do this deal, because I need a pass through. I need a middleman or middlewoman. Okay. Somebody say, is equity to be paid back? I think you know the answer to that, Luana. Equity means equal. Is it equal if a person doesn't get back what they're due? Nah, it's not equal. So equity would, yes. For sure. DJ Diamond 45. Yep. For sure. Okay. Remember, you apply with your credit. All right. And that's why I tell people to go read Federal Reserve Section 16, Part 1 and Part 2. All right. I've been saying the same thing for the last 4 years. All right. It should click at some point. All right. The Federal Reserve Section 1 talks about how only the Board of Governors, all right, they have discretion to decline. All right. Have y'all ever been declined and the letter came from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve? Comment the number 2 if you've got declined, but the decline letter did not come from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. I'm going to comment too. All right, because I know damn well when I got my decline letter, it didn't say nothing about no Federal Reserve, Board of Governors. It said Bank of ... Unfortunately, and it said, thank you for your consideration. They literally told me that. They said, thank you for your consideration. What is consideration, family? You got to understand, consideration is my security collateral. Consideration is value, family. We hear the word consideration and think it's just like a word, like, hey, thank you for considering us. But that's not, y'all, it's a private talk. Okay, thank you for giving us consideration. What was my consideration? Since I gave y'all consideration and y'all verbally expressed that I gave you consideration, where's mine? You know what I'm saying? Where's mine? All right, that's what you got to ask yourself. All right, what if I told y'all the biggest problem we have is not asking the right questions? That's the biggest issue. One of the biggest issue is not reading and not asking the right questions. So I should say not reading is what's the biggest problem, because when you read, then you can start asking better questions. When you don't read, you can't ask a good question. You gonna ask a question like, hey man, how I go get a car? And it's like, okay, well, you got to go get a car by understanding what a negotiable instrument. Hey, what's a negotiable instrument? You see what I'm saying? It's like, some folks are too far, all right, to ask certain questions. I know that sounds crazy because we've been taught there's no dumb questions, but I've been trying to tell people any question that's not thought out, any questions that's just spewed out without thinking is a dumb question. All right, and that's why I say you're correct, Zay Do Huncho. Yes, we all have learning disabilities. I try to tell people this, okay? But they try to tell me, I ain't disabled. I know what's going on. I'm like, okay, you know what's going on, but what are you doing about it? Because that makes you even more wow. Knowing something and not doing nothing about it makes it even, I'd rather not know and say, hey, yeah, that's why I ain't doing that. I don't want to be the person to say, yeah, I know what's going on. And then going home, going to work, clocking in to work. Okay, 6 months later, you know how many people know what's going on? They don't have any remedy yet. It's probably been studying this for 10 years. They know what's going on. They can have a whole conversation with you. All right, yeah. So when y'all reach out to client letters, make sure y'all understand what's going on. But you can't understand what's going on if you don't got the glasses on. If you ain't got them glasses on, you ain't gonna see certain things. All right, you're going to be blind to it. They literally tell you, thank you for giving us consideration. That is contract talk for thank you for giving us some value. And then they double talk and say, unfortunately, we can't do business with you due to your credit, due to your income ratio. That's what it is, y'all. Okay? Now, when they saying these things, we're looking at it like, oh my gosh, I got declined. Let me go work on my credit score. You see what I'm saying? Or, oh my gosh, I'm declined. Let me go get some things cleaned up on my credit. And that has nothing to do with your approval. Okay? Yeah, facts. It's literally contract talk for thank you for giving us something. And it's my bike now, punk. We ain't got nothing for you. And what do? We be like, oh, okay, damn. Let me go work on my credit score. You see what I'm saying, family? Now, did that, you know how many of us take our anger out on TransUnion? You know how many of us take our anger out on Experian? You know how many of us take our anger out on, what's the other one? TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, Equifax. Okay? Someone said, how do I overturn a denial? Family, I've seen your name before, family. You overturn the denial by enforcing your rights, family. What you been doing these couple of years, family? Yeah, I'm good with faces. I ain't good with names, but I'm good with faces. Okay, you should know that, family. All right, how do I overturn? Let's say I was just dropped right here, right now. Okay, and I've been reading, right? Okay, I know I have the right to exercise credit. All right, I know that they can't deny me because they're not in proper standing to deny me. I'm going to rebut the claims that I'm not qualified to get credit. And I'm going to fight until I can't fight anymore. Okay? So, well, I know a couple of people saying, go read their perspectives, which is great. Okay, but, y'all got to remember, when we tell people to do these things, they don't really know what that is. Right? Okay, so, yes, a prospectus report is going to help them out tremendously. Okay, but I would say just start off by just reading the decline letter. Find out the characters, because you're going to see two people in there. You're going to see the TransUnion or Equifax or Experian, the one that's reporting what happened, and then you're going to see the bank that declined you. Somebody said, so basically no need to authenticate a birth certificate, just knowing laws and rights by talking to them. Okay, now you see how you said two things right there. All right. Now, part two, yes, you can do this without authenticating your birth certificate, but you still want to authenticate your birth certificate for other processes further down the line. You see what I'm saying? Because if I was to be like, man, forget, Authenticated birth certificates, a lot of folks just throw that to a side. Then you'll get to a point, because when you get done with endorsing your bills, there's another side. Okay? There's another side. Because I hope y'all don't think endorsing bills just all end all be all. Simeon Carey. I know folks that got way more than that. What? I know what? Come on now. I know folks that got way more than that. I know folks that don't have limit. Self-revolving. All right, but yeah, I'm reading my decline letter. I'm figuring out what reporting company is saying what. Great. Thank you, TransUnion, for letting me know who's the one that declined me. I'm using TransUnion as a pass-through. All right, because TransUnion is going to let me know Bank of America declined me. I'm going straight to Bank of America and having the conversation about how I have capacity to contract. I'm having that conversation about how there must have been a mistake, okay, because I have the right to credit, okay, and the only one that can decline me is the Board of Governors. That's why I say read Federal Reserve, Section 16, Part 1. Because you're literally regurgitating. Because all banks are under the Federal Reserve Act. All banks are under the Banking Act. I wish a bank would say we're not under the Federal Reserve Act. I'm going to be like, well, I intended this deal to be under all governing laws. So if you're not under the Federal Reserve Act, can you please go ahead and send me back my security collateral and check form? Since you're not under the Federal Reserve, I'm going to need my consideration back. Because you just told me I gave you consideration. So since you ain't under the Federal Reserve, I gave you consideration under the pretense of that this was under the Federal Reserve Act. Okay? All right? And that lingo and that articulation comes from studying, family. It doesn't come from going to someone live and saying, hey, man, what do I say? I ain't never asked nobody that. Never had to ask nobody, hey, man, what do I say? Never. All right. Now, asking questions like, what's the best approach? Great question. But asking like, man, what do I say? Man, that's a horrible question. What is this? Monkey see, monkey do? That ain't how it goes, family. Okay? Because they may ask you certain things in certain ways. They might not ask it the same way I'm saying it right now. That's why I say go read your denial. Who am I speaking to directly? I'm speaking to the banks, family. That's why I say I'm reading the decline letter, family. They tell me who to contact if I have any discretions. Now let me ask you this. Have you read any decline letters from the top to the bottom? As long as you've been following me, have you read? Because that's what I'm saying. You should know who they is, family. You should know, because my friend, you asking the question like you just started. Family, you been around, family. You should know who they is. They is the banks. No, I'm not sending it to the billing company. I'm sending it to the address that is on the decline letter. Exactly. So when you read the decline letter, where did it say to send your correspondence? It gave you a bank. It gave you address. I'm sending a letter saying who this may concern in reference to the letter that I received. All right, when I applied for credit. My thing is, family, I think you know more than what you think. You got to trust yourself. You got to trust what you've been reading. Okay, you're going to be in circles, family. You're going to be in circles. I'm just telling you as a bro. All right, so many folks be in this thing for 20 years. All right, family, you got to get it, family. You got to get it. I know all my decline letters tell me who reported it, and then they're telling me which bank declined me. Every single decline letter. All right, a couple years, like 4 years ago, I was saying, y'all get all the decline letters. All right, get all your decline letters and just read them. Did y'all know you got about 60 days to negotiate that? Now, you can still go back. All right, but they give you a window of 60 days. That's why I say you got 60 days to send us. If you think this is an error, please send it us in writing. Okay? You got to at least build that case. All right, I'm building the case like if I get declined. All right, I got the letter. Now I got 30 to 60 days to respond. I'm sending my letter to the bank. Okay, and that's how I get many of my declines reversed, family. Okay, somebody said, before I send my first notice, though, I'm making sure they see I have full capacity. Well, not that they see I have full capacity. You got to make sure you have full capacity, family. You got to make sure you have full capacity. Because you can show them you can say you have capacity all day. So many people think saying I have capacity and then sending letters is showing that I have capacity. Family, that's not capacity, family. Capacity is in your heart knowing what's going on. In your heart knowing what's going on. Okay, I have a lot of consultation with people that say, well, yeah, I'm about to call them and say I got full capacity. You think that's going to work? I'm like, oh my God, man, come on, y'all. Come on now. Y'all really think this is just a monkey see, monkey do? You just gotta say what somebody told you, fam. Comment to number 3 if you thought that's how this was. Just be honest. Let's be honest. Y'all comment 3 if you thought you could say the same thing somebody else said and it was supposed to go through. Comment 3. Comment 3. Comment 3, y'all. Look like nobody trying to comment 3. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, appreciate you, family. Thank you. Come on now. That's how I be, y'all. I get so many folks that talk to me and they be like, yeah, I know what's going on. I got capacity contract. And it's like, yo, if you don't got accountability, you're never going to get far. All right, because I thought when I first started, all I had to do was copy somebody's letter and send it in. That's not how this shit works, family. That's not how it works. All right, you can take my class and copy word for word if you don't know what's going on. Okay? And I try to tell folks, yes, it should be common sense, but that shows you, okay, sense aren't that common, clearly. All right, we're behind the 8 ball, family. We be way behind. Okay, so normal common sense doesn't apply right now because y'all gotta remember a lot of us have learning disabilities. All right, a lot of us have learning disabilities. You know how many people they tell me, man, I get what you're saying, but I'm a street dude. I learn different. I'm like, well, brother, it sounds like a disability to me. Or I get people that say, well, I've been in corporate. I'm just more hands-on. And I was like, well, it sounds like a learning disability to me. All right. And like what people are like, well, I can read, man. I get it. But it ain't clicking, man. It just sounds like a learning disability to me. Now, I don't got no learning disability. I'm like, yo, until we acknowledge that a lot of us have learning disabilities, hey, yo, a lot of this stuff ain't gonna make sense. Okay? You have to know what's going on. And sometimes that knowing is basically blocked by our learning disabilities. Now, I'm no expert at getting past learning disability. Only thing I'm an expert is at my own journey. Okay? When it was difficult for me, one thing I did was, hey, let me just shut up, stop making excuses, just read and just shut up. Just read. Just read. Okay? Relearning is not tough. Okay? I'm not mad at you guys, but I'm just saying, relearning is not tough. The tough thing is that we're trying our hardest not to really realize what we're reading. Imagine holding on to one world and holding on to the other world. That's why it's making up. Let go of this shit. You guys to let go. What the religious folks say? Let go and let God. You got to let go of what you think you know because you don't know nothing. All right, that's why I had to tell myself, like, yo, I don't know anything. And the more I told myself that, the more I could really start to receive information. Some of y'all are so thinking you know what's going on because you're building off of shaky foundation. You have to literally pour out your whole cup. You got to start all over, family. You can't possibly bring in your current habits and think you're going to elevate to the understand the comprehension that you need to have the knowing. Hopefully I'm not talking fast. Okay, hopefully I'm not talking fast. Okay, but once I told my lower self, man, shut your po ass up and read. I was like, man, you right, man. Let me read. Kept reading. I went from there to there, from there to there, to there to there. By the time I looked up, 4 hours went by. Didn't even feel like it. Okay, took a little break. All right, now like, damn. Now during the day, my mind is bubbling. Okay, I can't wait to read again. Okay, but I had to get past that. I don't feel like doing this. It's like going to the weight room. First of all, getting to the weight room is a whole discussion in its own. You know how difficult it is to get there. Now, to get there and actually start finishing all your sets, that's another thing as well. So it's like two transitions that you got to kind of fight through before you get to the point like, all right, I'm here, let's get it. I know that's how I am. All right, now some of y'all might not be like that, but just kind of look at that just like with this reading. I know when you start reading, you be like, oh, interest is the rights reserved by the contract is between two parties. Because y'all know it's black and white. It ain't no damn coloring book. It ain't no songs on the back. It ain't like no MySpace page where you listen to tunes while you reading. It ain't none of that. Okay? It's straight words. And since it's not exciting, it's not entertaining, because we're not used to reading to our entertainment, if that makes sense. A lot of us we're so used to entertainment right here, right now. Our attention span is so short because we're used to entertainment being quick. Or even with music. All right, if you go give your music to an exec, all right, that song better be hitting in the first 10 seconds. Nobody about to sit there for a whole minute till you get to your second verse to it, start getting like, nah. All right, and that's like a thing that we all have to go through. But with reading, it ain't how that's work. That ain't how it work. Okay, that's how it works. Literally, you got to read, and then you start becoming entertained. Like, oh my gosh, what did I just say? Let me read that again. I know I didn't read where it said bank's supposed to pay interest. Yeah, for sure. Make sure y'all highlight it to make it more entertaining. Have you some different color highlights. That'll make it fun. All right, write some of this stuff down on cards. You gotta make it fun. That's why I said let's make reading cool again. Okay, because it was a point in time men that couldn't read didn't get women. Like you didn't. Like the men that could read was the men that was in power. Like you. Imagine a man today that doesn't read versus a man that does read. Okay, literally. Two totally different lifestyles. Okay, so if I'm getting declined, that's why I say you got to understand these things, fam. Because when I read my contract, if I'm seeing certain things in the contract that I don't understand, like when they say, hey, thank you for our consideration, but unfortunately, I'm instantly going to go to the unfortunate part. All right, I'm instantly going to go to the unfortunate. I'm instantly going to be like, oh my God, I got declined. Not knowing that they're not declining, they're literally negotiating. The fact that they said 30 to 60 days literally is saying this is negotiation. Okay? Literally. Hey, if you have any discretions, send your correspondence to this address. They're literally saying, hey, send your text message here if you have any issues. You damn right we have an issue. Okay? Literally. All right? Sometimes we just don't know. And it's okay when we don't know, but once we start to see what's going on, it's not okay anymore. Do y'all understand that? It's not okay anymore. Okay? All right, read and slow down, family. Just because you read it one time, you cannot verbally and expressly really say you read it. Because reading something one time is like riding in the car and glimpsing at something real quick and seeing it for one time and never seeing it again. Like, you don't really have the comprehension of what you just saw. Okay? Unless you say, hey, man, stop, bro. Stop right quick. Let me see this right. You see what I'm saying? All right? You see what I'm saying? So you got to read things multiple times. All right, I remember first time I read, even like I say, even when I started learning this information, I wasn't really understanding what the words were saying. I thought I did. Hell yeah, people scared to respond because they don't know how to respond. I got people in my DMs asking me questions like, how do I respond to a decline letter? Like they just didn't receive the decline letter. I'm about to start saying, well, did I send you the decline letter? How do I respond to it? That's like somebody coming and ask you, hey man, what's your name? And then you turn over, hey bro, what should I say? They asked me my name. It should be common sense, right? But how many of us are going to be like, well, we didn't know, bro. And it's like, that's not an excuse. You're like, do y'all see where I'm coming from? We got to elevate as a whole. It's so sad. A bunch of us will literally say, well, I didn't know. That's why. What do you mean you didn't know? They sent you a letter. The letter literally said, if you have any issues, send it back in writing. How many of us got decline letters and never sent anything back after we got declined? And then we'd be like, well, I didn't know I was supposed to send nothing back. What you mean? It's like getting a text message and saying, hey, man, we ain't going to do this, even though this is what you came for. But if you don't like what we did, give us 30 or 60 days. Well, you got 30 or 60 days to respond back to us. You see what I'm saying? Just go read what they send to y'all. I get so many people, y'all. I don't get it like I used to because, I be like outing people when I go live. I used to get so many people send me letters that they get from their company. Like they'll be like, man, so can you kind of look over this for me? And I'll be like, grown ass adult, can you read? And they be like, well, I just didn't know what it was saying. Can you read? They're telling you no. What don't you get by that? You see what I'm saying? But we get the, well, I didn't know. Like, come on, we can't be acting grown and then act like a little kid. Well, I ain't. That's what little kids do. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know I couldn't get cookies in the morning. Like, come on, man, let's stop acting dumb. We not kids. Have you read the letter? Have you read the decline letter? Okay, have you read that letter that was coming from the IRS? IRS did the same thing. Have you read your eviction letter? I get so many people hit me with the eviction. Like, oh, brother, what do I do? Here's what they sent me. I'm like, you don't need to send me what they sent you. I know what it say. I've got those papers before. I don't need to see your papers. Say the same damn thing it says in mine. It says either pay, get out, or explain why you don't have to leave. You got 3 options. Come on, exactly. There's a point where ignorance is no longer an excuse, family. Come on now. Come on. It's a sad excuse as a human to seek help when that human didn't even read themselves. Imagine getting something in a letter and then trying to find, hey, I need help with this letter. I'm like, yo, did you read it yet? No. Like, yo, save your money and read your letter. And people blame us for charging. People blame us for charging. Me personally, I don't ever gotta pay somebody to read my contract to me. Okay? And I hope that's a message for all those that book consultations with me. All right? Just for me to read what they can damn read. I be feeling so goofy on them calls. And folks be like, well, I want to send you my contract so you can read it. So you can. I'm like, man, that's what you booked this consultation for? You spent $500 for me to read something to you? And people think I'm supposed to do stuff for free? Man, what? 500 about to turn to 1,000. Quick, fast, in a hurry. All right? And I'm just being honest, y'all. My life is great. I read to people for a living. Okay, now that might make a lot of people mad, but it's like, hey, can you really hate me? Can you really blame me? I'm a man that read, executed. I have students that have executed too. And then there's some people that pay me to read to them. Can you really blame me? Come on now. If y'all was in my shoes, can you really blame me? And for those that say, hey man, you should give your time free. Okay, great. Let's say I give my time free to somebody that ain't read the contract, right? I give an hour. They still don't read, right? Okay, so I should just keep on, boom, boom, boom. Like, come on. I don't even think it's a hustle. It's not even a hustle to me. Hustle mean you're doing something that's not legit to me. Like, meaning it's not legitimate. All right, I think this is a business, like meaning helping children. All right, I know some people don't want to be called a child, okay, but this is like a form of daycare. All right, because we're caring for capacities, right? Come on now. This is no different from a school. This is no different from a daycare. Only thing different is this isn't a consumer credit transaction, and it's voluntary. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, and I would tell anybody that ever gets results, and you get some students that get results, hey man, make sure you charge for your time. Don't let none of these yellow bellies, none of these people that ain't got no results convince you that you should be doing this for free. It's always somebody that ain't never accomplished nothing, okay, that's working jobs. No offense, anybody's working a job, but it's never nobody that's ever really accomplished anything, that's read anything, that ever opened their mouth and said, hey, you should be giving this out for free. For sure. For sure. Okay. Man, imagine being able to walk in any room and somebody complain about a bill and be like, hey man, I can help you with that. Or not saying shit. Let them drown. I think that's an amazing ability. Knowing who to let drown and knowing who to help. That's an ability that not a lot of people are picked or chose to do. Some of y'all will try to help everybody. Some of y'all fix y'all mouth and say, I will help everybody if I had remedy. And that's why you don't have remedy. That's why you don't have any results. If it was me, I would help everybody for free. That's why your poor ass don't have no results. Okay? Because you give your all and then turn around and don't have anything to give yourself. That's poor. If I give all myself out to the world, I'm poor. I'm poor. I gotta love myself first so I can properly love when I help. Why y'all think? Y'all would never hear me say, I gave y'all my everything. Y'all would never hear me say no post shit like that. Oh my God, in a relationship, friendship, never. I don't know how y'all be fixing y'all mouth saying that. I gave it all. And all he gave was mine. They gave their ass to kiss. Man, never. Y'all be on y'all knees sounding like peasants. Like you gave y'all and it still wasn't good enough. So you know what I'm saying? So that's more on you than it is a person. You gave a person your all. And they still didn't respect you. So your all may haven't been good enough, okay? Imagine telling somebody I gave you my all and they just be like, well, shit, all right. Man. Okay? Give yourself your all. Stop giving people your all, family. You're going to have to really step over people. You're going to be seeing people drown. It's going to be like the Titanic, family. You're going to be looking for your family members. Like, hey, people going to be trying to get on your boat. You got to get off my damn boat. You know, I'm looking for your wife and kids. That's how it got to be. You're going to have to step around, folks. You can't be helping every single person because I don't. What? I don't at all. Because I've been chosen to be able to choose who I want to help. Okay? All right? Yeah. I love this business. I love this business so much. Okay? The fact I can choose who I want to help. Oh my God. Do y'all know how amazing that feels? Nobody can hit me with discrimination, but I can discriminate. Oh my. What? Did y'all just hear that bar? Nobody can hit me with discrimination, but I can discriminate. Set your business up that way, family. All right, set your business up that way. Ooh-wee. Oh my gosh. All right. But again, before I leave, make sure y'all read y'all decline letters. Okay? Make sure y'all read y'all decline letters. Make sure you read your contracts. Okay, you're not supposed to get declined. And that's why I say read Federal Reserve Section 16, Part 1, because it specifically says that it is approved and by discretion of the Federal Reserve of the Board of Governors. So is Bank of America a Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve? Comment 2. Wait a minute, let me ask you a better question. Is Bank of America part of the Federal Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve? Comment 1 if yes, 2 if no. Is Bank of America a part of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System? So go read Federal Reserve Section 16, Part 1 and see who is the one that's approving. Because if the Board of Governors didn't tell you no, it's a go. Put that on a t-shirt. If the Federal Reserve ain't say no, it's a go. It's a go. Oh, somebody said one. What y'all talking about? What's going on? Ones. Come on. Ones. Come on. Everybody comment one. Where have we been this? Where have we been, family? Okay, Bank of America is not a part of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. Okay. All right. Just go ahead and clearing that out there. All right. I was really hoping I didn't see any ones. But that's one of the main reasons, because we think the banks got power that they don't. Yes, you were declined by Navy Federal, but you wasn't declined by the Board of the Federal. You wasn't declined by the Board of Governors of Federal Reserve. You see what I'm saying? Somebody said, but didn't one of the acts force all the banks to be a part of the Federal Reserve or where they had to buy stocks? Family, that sounds like a customer. That doesn't sound like a Board of Governor. You just said it. Didn't all banks have to go under the act? Yes, under the act. Under. Yes, under. Meaning they have to abide by it. Meaning they aren't it. They got to abide by it. Meaning they not the bosses. Okay? They're the employees. Okay? So that's why I say you got to read that with comprehension. Because we'll give them power that they don't even say that. Okay? We'll give them power that don't even say that. Rather, if a person believes you are the Board of Governors or if you're not the Board of Governors, all I know is the Bank of America, Chase Bank, they are not the Board of Governors. You see what I'm saying? So rather we feel like we are the Board of Governors or we aren't. We know that the banks are not the Board of Governors. Okay? Always remember that. And that's why I'm saying read your contract, because only read your decline letter, because when you read Federal Reserve Section 16 Part 1, it specifically says that only the Board of Governors have discretion, and if they don't say no, it's a go. And also in Part 1 of the Federal Reserve Section 16, it says that it's receivable by all national and member banks. Is Bank of America a national bank? Yes. Okay. Is Florida Credit Union a member bank? Yes. So do both of those fall under the Federal Reserve Act? Yes. So that means both of them received the application. Do y'all see? Y'all, that's why you got to read it. You got to read Federal Reserve Section 16 Part 1. It literally says that the Board of Governors is the only one that has discretion. Okay, and if they don't say no, it's a go. And if you keep reading, it literally says that this collateral is acceptable by all national Meaning if the Board of Governors don't say no, that means it's acceptable by all national. No, it says receivable. My bad, not acceptable. Receivable. Meaning they receive something. But that's why when they say thank you for your consideration, yes, they receive something. Thank you for thinking so much of us. You considered us. You woke us up out the dead. We didn't. Thank you for allowing us to borrow. But unfortunately, we can't give you your credit. That's literally what they're saying, family. And only an insane person would go with that. Okay? All right? And how do I know you're not supposed to get declined for anything less than? All right? In the same act, Federal Reserve Section 16 Part 2 talks about application for notes. Okay? When you go to the bottom, I don't skip it, read it, but when you get to the bottom, during the bottom, so somewhere towards the bottom, 3/4 of Part 2, it talks about how in no event shall such collateral security, which is your application, be less than the Federal Reserve notes you applied for. So if I apply for 100,000, guess how much my application is worth? 100,000, pursuant to Federal Reserve Section 16 Part 2. We have to get versed with knowing the Federal Reserve Act, family. We have to. Okay? We have to. Now, somebody said, what happens if we go past 30 or the 60 days? Okay? Now, you got to remember, that's just the good faith window that they give you. You can still go back. You just have to kind of, do a little bit more work. All right, because you got to remember that account is still open up. It ain't like after 30 or 60 days, the account is shut. No. All right, they're just saying 30, 60 days. Hey, that's the time we're kind of looking for you to amend. But we don't do that. Okay. All right, so make sure y'all read, family. Okay, before you book $500 with me, go get all my classes for $450 to $100 to $500. My bad. Again, before you book $500 with me, go get the class, family. Okay, those classes will give you way more information further and over time period, because you can go back at the class. Okay, and then when you look at the classes, you read. Okay, then kind of develop better questions, and then book a one-on-one, because that one-on-one compared with your studying, what? It's like a match made in heaven. Okay, match made in heaven. All right, so I got the September mentorship coming up. All right, for those that are my ERC clients, all right, we're doing it one more time. Y'all are all free into the mentorship. Every ERC client that didn't get my December mentorship when I did it the first time, all right, y'all are getting it this time. Okay, y'all are free. Okay, all ERC members that did not come to the December mentorship. Okay, now for everybody else, September mentorship is $2,000. Okay, we're meeting 3 times a week, 3 hours a day. All right, for the full month of September, we're going over proper endorsement. All right, how to build a proper case for discrimination, security fraud, breach of contract, whichever way your capacity leads you. All right, because we don't tell you what to do legally. We just give you the options by law. All right, this isn't legal advice. I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. All right, I'm just somebody that read the law and wants to bring the law to awareness. Okay. Also in September, mentorship, we're going over taxes, how to properly file your taxes. I understand a lot of folks are having issues with their taxes. Are you getting your taxes garnished? Okay. Tap in, y'all. All right, tap in. Also going to be some bonus information as well that I'm not going to say here, only for the mentees. All right, so I want y'all to know, tap in, trust and believe. After September, you're going to look at a job different. You're going to look at hustling different. You're going to look at running a business different, running yourself different. Okay, and that's what it's geared for. All right, to give you a different outlook on life. All right, and that's what we've done. That's what we're going to keep doing, family. Okay, so with that being said, y'all, make sure y'all tap into the link in my bio for any class that you're interested in. All right, for those that are tapped in with the mentorship, we will be meeting next weekend on Saturday. I will be sending y'all a message. We will be meeting so we can go ahead and get the schedule for September. Okay, for those that's asking me what the time is and schedule is September, we do not have it yet because we have not met yet as a whole, so we can vote whether we're going to do days, nights, weekends, or weekdays. Okay, we're going to let the group vote, all right, before we move forward. All right, so for all that's saying, well, I don't want to pay until I know the schedule, and it might be too late by the, and I know that kind of sounds crazy, but this is type of, sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're not about to keep waiting because you got to go to work, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're really trying to elevate, all right, reach different heights in life, all right, and to do that, to reach different heights in life, you got to let go of certain things. I get a lot of people that quit their jobs right after my mentorship. It's not mandatory, I'm just saying they naturally quit because it's like after that mentorship, like you feel crazy going to work, and you got to remember every 30 days comes a new bill, so you got 30 days before that new bill come before you can start negotiating or even disputing or even just bringing awareness to your contract. And y'all got to remember, during dispute, that's why you got to understand contract. During disputes, if you have a dispute, all payments stop. All payments are supposed to stop in the disputes, because if I have a dispute with you, what gives you the right to keep on pulling? If I'm telling you, hey, I have an issue, so until we resolve this issue, you can't keep pulling. That's why I say if you bring a dispute up and you let them know, hey, also during dispute, all payments are supposed to stop because I have some real questions about this application. Well, man, my bad. Real questions about this mentorship. My bad. I have real questions about my account. All right, and my contract. All right, so that's what it is, y'all. That's beans for the day. All right, just like it is every day, y'all. Read. If you ain't been doing that, but you're telling yourself you know what's going on, I'm here to let you know you don't know anything, okay? Shut up. You don't know anything. All right, that's why I had to tell myself, if you're not reading the same stuff over and over, you're not reading, okay? If you're one of these people that just sees things one time, start sending your stuff in, because a lot of y'all done sent letters in and you haven't read anything. Some of y'all hadn't even read your own contract multiple times and you've already sending things out. You'll never get remedy. All right, I'm here to kind of burst your bubble. All right, because a lot of y'all have false hope. All right. Oh my goodness. Some of y'all have the most weirdest false hope. Like, hey, I took your class, I sent off letters, and I'm just waiting to get remedy. I'm like, you thought that's how it was? Did I say that in the class? I don't think I ever said that's how it goes down. But you can keep having that false narrative. And one thing I heard 50 Cent say that was powerful as hell. All right. A lot of us have disappointment when we have false hope in things that was never there. All right. Can y'all still hear me? Y'all still hear me? All right. I heard 50 Cent say something that was very powerful. He said a lot of us. Oh, shit. All right. Let me keep going. All right. A lot of folks say, 50 Cent said, literally, a lot of us have false hope. All right. Or we get disappointed because we create false hope. Now imagine getting all your hopes up, seeing my product, and then going and taking it. You have all these false hopes of, all I gotta do is take his class, send in what he said, and I can be my eviction. All I gotta do is send in what he said, I can get me a car. All I gotta do is send in what he said, I can get me a high rise. All I gotta do is send in what he said, I get me a car. That's false hope. So then when it doesn't happen, now you're disappointed. And now you're gonna take your frustration out on who? Me. And you'll come back to the comments saying, that shit ain't work. I got a brother that just hit me up on my, he signed up for my mentorship, but then he hit me back and said, you know what, Brian, gonna do it. You a scammer. I looked at JT Pocket Watch's page and you got exposed. And I was like, huh? I was like, all right, take care, family. Wait. What is going on? And that's why I tell y'all, you gotta let people drown. Because I could have sat there and tried to explain myself, but why? Why? And with that being said, peace and love, family. Make sure y'all stay reading. Make sure y'all stay educated. And make sure y'all stay intelligent. Peace.